That humans shouldn't even be alive, scoffed Gorak, squinting at the screen in disbelief. Around him, the Carrick delegation muttered in uneasy agreement. Every Deathworld species had gathered on Z Prime, a neutral meeting ground for the few life forms tough enough to survive planets that actively sought to kill them. Brutal terrains, vicious predators, toxic atmospheres. These were familiar challenges to the Carrick. They thought they understood resilience, believed they had seen the pinnacle of endurance. Then they encountered the humans. On the main screen of the conference room, a grainy video feed played. A human lean scarred and alarmingly casual, was strolling across a scorching desert under twin suns. Sensor readings flashed along the side of the screen. Searing temperatures, wind speeds lethal to most species. Yet there he was just walking. "I don't get it," growled Iroh, a scaled Carrick warrior with a scar running from his forehead down to his jawline. Known for his steely resolve, Iroh now looked genuinely puzzled. "They aren't armored, don't have any venom, and lack claws. What do they have? Bones?" The others nodded. Carrick, proud descendants of survivalist evolution, had never encountered anything like the humans. Carrick were tough, built to withstand toxic environments and injuries that would incapacitate others. Muscular, dense, and armored in natural plating, they were the galaxy's undisputed masters of harsh living, or so they thought. One of the delegates, a scientist named Drix, piped up, clearly disturbed. "The data suggests they don't only survive on their home world, they thrive. Their planet Earth is like nothing we've ever studied." Gorak grunted, his eyes never leaving the screen. "Elaborate," he said. Drix, visibly trying to suppress his disbelief, continued, "Earth has a highly unstable environment. Extreme cold and heat, unpredictable weather, active volcanic zones, vast chaotic seas. Nothing about it is hospitable, yet humans have adapted to almost every corner of it. They even go so far as to challenge it intentionally, climbing its highest mountains, swimming in its deepest waters, or venturing to its poles, for entertainment." The room went silent. Entertainment. That concept was not lost on the Carrick, who relished proving their own strength. But to seek out danger on purpose? "Ridiculous," Iroh muttered. "They're either insane or lying." "I thought so too," Drix admitted, "but there's more." He hesitated, reluctant to share the next piece of information. Earth isn't a true death world by the strictest definition, not like Carrick. The predators there are dangerous, yes, but it's not an apex world. There are no toxins in the air, no catastrophic magnetic storms. "Then why call it a death world?" someone sneered. Drix took a deep breath, tapping on his tablet. "Because humans themselves are the threat. They're aggressive in ways we don't fully understand. They don't just survive, they dominate. They form packs, create weapons, and adapt faster than any species on record. They've encountered creatures that would kill most other Deathworlders and have figured out ways to subdue, or even befriend, them." A hologram projected images of Earth animals, massive felines, creatures with crushing jaws, and towering mammoths. At the center of each image was a human, grinning and undaunted, standing next to these beasts as if they were allies. Gorak watched, his skepticism fading, replaced by reluctant intrigue. "You're saying they train these things?" "They don't just train them," Drix replied, his voice lowering. "They make them companions. And it's not just beasts. Their technology, while primitive compared to ours, is modified for any environment. It's their tenacity, they don't stop. Even when outmatched, even when injured, humans just keep going. It's like survival itself is hardwired into their instincts." The Carrick exchanged glances, each warrior grappling with the realization that they had underestimated these strange beings. For as long as they could remember, the Carrick had considered themselves the standard by which survival was measured. They were not accustomed to feeling threatened, especially not by a species without natural defenses. Then the door to the chamber slid open, and the human ambassador walked in. At first glance, he was unremarkable, about the height of a Carrick juvenile, unarmored, with a sturdy frame that seemed laughably fragile next to the massive, armored Carrick figures in the room. But there was something unsettling in his gaze. His eyes scanned the room with calm intensity, an unspoken confidence that unnerved the Carrick more than any weapon could. "Gentlemen," he greeted, his voice steady. He had no translator. He spoke the Carrick language fluently, a feat that took even seasoned diplomats years to master. "I appreciate the warm welcome." Iroh's lip curled as he eyed the human. "You're lucky we allowed you here, human. We don't usually waste time with soft-skinned creatures from garden planets." The ambassador simply smiled, unfazed. "I'd imagine not. Then again, I'd wager most species don't survive long enough to have that conversation with you. Proven their worth not through brute strength, but through adaptability, resilience, and an understanding of the broader picture." It was a concept that intrigued the Karks, a species so rooted in their traditions of dominance and survival that they rarely paused to consider alternatives. The human ambassador's words had planted a seed of thought, a possibility that perhaps strength wasn't as narrow a concept as they had believed. The meeting concluded with an air of contemplation. The human ambassador left the chamber with his head held high, the weight of his words lingering long after his departure. The Kark's delegation dispersed, each member lost in thought, wrestling with a perspective that challenged their core beliefs. For Gorak, the encounter was transformative. As leader of the Kark's delegation, he knew the path forward would not be easy. There would be resistance among his people, skepticism, and perhaps outright defiance. But he also recognized the value in what the human had presented. Strength, as the humans defined it, was not weakness, it was evolution. It was the ability to see beyond the immediate, to adapt, to grow, and to forge alliances that could make them stronger than they had ever been alone. Back aboard their respective ships, the Karks and human delegations prepared for what lay ahead. For the Karks, the challenge would be reconciling their pride with the possibilities of a broader, more inclusive strength. For the humans, it would be proving that cooperation was not a weakness, but a path to mutual survival and success. In the vast expanse of the galaxy, where survival was often a matter of brute force or cunning, the encounter between humans and Karks marked the beginning of something unprecedented, a partnership forged not in conquest, but in mutual respect and understanding. For the first time, two vastly different species had glimpsed the potential for unity, a fragile but hopeful alliance that could reshape their futures. And somewhere, in the vastness of space, under twin suns or amidst chaotic seas, the humans and Karks began to walk a new path, one step at a time, toward a strength neither could achieve alone.